the center cap off. If you want, use a rag and just get underneath here with a screwdriver to prevent from scratching the wheel. Pull that cap off. Use a 22mm socket, take the lug nuts off. Removes the wheel. Take off these two caliper bolts. Use a 19mm socket. And slide the caliper off. Use a caliper hanger. And just find some place to hang it from. There's a bracket over here. Just make sure there's no tension on the brake hose. Take the brake pads off. Now we'll take the bracket off. Use an 18mm socket. Take these two bolts out. Bolts out, and then slide the caliper bracket right off. Now we can take the rotor off, take this screw out, use a T30 socket, take that screw out, and grab the rotor, and just slide it off. If it doesn't come off that easy, just take a hammer and hit in these locations. Just be careful of the studs. Slide that off. Now we're going to clean the hub surface. You can use a wire brush or a grinder. Just be careful, don't take off too much material. You just want to take off anything that's going to prevent the rotor from sitting flat against the hub. I'm going to take a little thin coat of anti-seize and just put it on the areas of the hub where the rotor is going to sit. I'm going to take the rotor, slide it on backwards first. Now take some brake parts cleaner, just wash off the back side of the rotor, wipe it down. Flip it around. Make sure you line one of those holes up with the threaded hole. And then do the same on this side, brake parts cleaner, and wipe it down. Now put the screw in. Try to line the rotor up flat. And just snug this down, not too tight, just snug. That's good. Now let's clean up the caliper. Just use a straight blade screwdriver. Pop these clips off. Under the clips, you want to take a wire brush and just clean up any corrosion or rust. Take a little caliper grease, just put a thin coat right there. Put the new caliper slides in, or the pad slides, and another thin coat of grease, just where the pads are going to go. Then you want to do that on the same on the other side. Now take the caliper slide pins out. Take a little brake parts cleaner, clean this off. If it's badly corroded, you can use a wire brush or some brake parts cleaner in the caliper itself. This one's not too bad. Clean it up. Take some caliper grease, grease up the pin. Reinsert it, make sure it seals with the boot, and do the same on the other side. Now slide the bracket over the rotor, get the bolts, you can start those. You want to put some thread lock adhesive on the bolts. Now I'm going to torque the bolts to 170 foot-pounds. Now put the brake pads on. Take the caliper off the bracket. And you want to compress the caliper. Use a caliper compressing tool. Line this up. As you're compressing the caliper, it's pushing the fluid through the brake hoses, through the lines back up into the master cylinder. Now put the caliper over the brake pads. Put the bolts in. Now I'm going to torque these bolts to 74 foot-pounds. Put the wheel on. Line that up. Put the lug nuts on. Now I'm going to torque these lug nuts to 140 foot-pounds in a cross pattern to tighten the wheel down evenly. And just go around again, double check. Take the center cap, make sure you line up where the valve stem goes, and put that back on. Now pump the brake pedal, nice and slow. Check the fluid level under the hood and adjust accordingly.